I haven't been totally honest. I started this channel as an experiment, a test. I needed to prove to myself that I was, in fact, a real person. For much of my life, I was convinced that I might not be, but let me back this up a little bit. Anyone who's had the misfortune of experiencing trauma, sometimes repeatedly throughout their early lives, understands how much it changes and shapes you. All that's important to know is that from the ages of about 10 to 19, I was living in an almost constant state of severe mental health crises, all of which created a very particular survival mechanism. At times, I would lose all sense of who I was, where I was, right down to my awareness of even being alive. It was like I was living outside of my own body, outside of the parameters of reality. Like I wasn't here. And when I eventually came back into my body, I was of course freshly reminded every single time that I was in fact a real person, which should have been a relief. But it wasn't, because this simple fact of existence had caused me so much pain at the hands of people who must have hated themselves so much they just couldn't keep it to themselves. And so I was made to hate myself, to make myself smaller, to regret that I existed at all. I never believed that I would escape this reality, that I would be able to change this relationship to myself and how I perceived the world. Fast forward several years, and I've made my way through the first stages of early adulthood. I've had so many amazing, otherworldly, indescribable experiences that have completely changed my perspective on life, myself, and the people around me. But as much blooming and growth as I've been experiencing, I noticed there is still something holding me back. A psychological and emotional hangup I experienced every time I was faced with difficulty or challenge that triggered those old patterns of self-loathing, of needing to eject my awareness from my body. It was this persistent, nagging sensation of something still being off that was eluding every attempt of being neatly named, processed, and integrated into my current reality so that I could move on. Then one day, I figured it out. It was November of 2020, a month after I had moved into a dark, tiny basement in a massive city. It was a world so foreign to me, I couldn't comprehend how I'd found myself there. I had started a new job spraying pesticides for the mega-rich of Toronto, and I was on the edge of a crisis, although I didn't know it at the time. It was also at this time, serendipitously, that I rediscovered Yana. As I was in this place of realizing that my current situation in life felt so painfully unfamiliar and soul-crushing, I became completely absorbed in her world. I was addicted to the glimpses of beauty and purpose of her life. The effect her stories had on me during those dark, cold, oppressive winter months is something I still struggle to describe. So far, I've only been able to chalk it up to what I've called the Yana effect, which is something I know that millions of people are experiencing at this point too. I mention this not to strictly talk about Yana, but to share what happened to me as a result of being so fundamentally impacted by how she embodies her truth and life's purpose. As I was drawn into more and more of her videos, I began to feel things I couldn't explain. Looking back on it now, I realize it was a serious psycho-spiritual crisis. I had become so far removed from who I really was, had strayed so far from the path I dreamed of for myself when I was young, and I was scared for what my future would look like if I didn't change something. At this point, something broke inside of me, and what came pouring out was completely unexpected. Old and mostly forgotten dreams I had from childhood came rushing to the forefront of my mind, bringing with them immense pain and trauma. It sounds dramatic, but it really was a beautiful thing because it's brought me to where I am now. It's brought me here, to you, and to myself. It took that one last nagging hangup deeply lodged in the bottom of my mind and thrust it into the light. And it's a place that when I was younger, not that long ago, I was convinced I would never reach. So as I fell headfirst into Yana's story and saw so much of my present self in her journey, I was confronted with the fact that I may indeed actually be a real person with a real story of my own, real thoughts, hopes and desires, flaws and valleys to dig myself out of, mistakes to learn from, my own voice and my own mission. This was what brought me to my knees. This was my reckoning with myself. But I was left with a sense of needing to do something about it because I knew I wouldn't be able to fully embody this truth of being a real person if I just buried it and moved on again. I had to do something that would force me to actualize this truth so that I couldn't run away from myself anymore. Instead of doing what had been done to me by many people throughout my life, I did something different. I let myself be moved by someone else's light. I didn't allow the fear and self-loathing inside of me to let someone else's success and open self-expression make me feel small. I let it in. I felt it all, and I realized that I had this energy inside of me too. We all do. We just have to learn how to harness it and let it out, however it may be. This, my friends, is where this channel comes in. Seemingly trivial, seemingly superficial, but still one of the many things I realized during this period. I needed to breathe life into the deeply shamed and repressed parts of myself in order to break past this massive hurdle. I needed to learn how to accept the fact that I have my own thoughts and desires. I occupy space in this world. I have a voice, and I shouldn't be so scared anymore to use it. So as I found myself at 22 years old, huddled in an old cramped basement in Toronto at the beginning of winter, I realized that the path to accepting I am a real person, to embodying basic love for myself and therefore love for other people as well, was through learning how to confidently use my voice in a healthy way, to take up my own space. Now at 23, after a year of making these videos and learning to tell stories, I can see now that this experiment has been working. And a lot of that is thanks to you.
I know.
Thank you for witnessing me. Thank you for holding me in this space of complete vulnerability. Thank you for sharing with me the parts of yourselves that you want to be seen. I see you too. Thank you.
Hello.
It's a me, Mario. Hello, it's a me, Mario. Mario doesn't talk like that.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's just so weird.
I know, but Gwen, I'm literally going to be part of this. Like, there's no way.
Angles. I don't know what my angles are.
I don't either.
Is this an angle?
Sure.
I think this might be an angle.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. That's it.
Wait, there's no thanks for watching, like, and subscribe.
Oh. Wait, okay, let me redo that. Yeah, thanks for watching. I've said that probably like 3 times now already, but, I can't, I'm just so weird. I'm just so weird. Video will continue. I got an error message and I don't know what it means.
Let's see.
Well, okay. Bye! 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 Bye-bye! Bye-bye!